Lots gone on in the last week. We've had a game actually finally for the first time in 2020. FA Cup against Watford. We look back on that rather great victory and the talking points from that game. A debut, of course, from our new American signing, Emily Fox. So we're going to look at her performance in that particular game. There was the FA Cup draw, of course, in the fifth round. What a tie that's thrown up. Arsenal versus Manchester City. So we're going to have at the draw there as well. So that's going to be something that's good. So, of course, also there's a WSL is back this weekend. Of course, Arsenal are playing Everton at Meadow Park. Well, we hope they are. We'll come on to that a little bit later due to some weather issues. But a lot to get through. Of course, we'll have your comments and questions. Of course, get your comments in the box now. We can talk about the stuff we want to talk about as well. And it's all coming up. Joining us is, of course, Emma. How are you doing today, Emma? You're on mute. You got yourself on mute. You're on mute. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, that's better. We can hear you now.
Yeah, no, I'm good, mate. All good. It was good to see the girls finally back in action. Gives us plenty to talk about, and we've got other things to discuss, including Emily Fox, as you say, and also Manny's new contract. So it should be a good one.
Yes, indeed. And you might be thinking something's not quite right in the show. Somebody's missing. But don't worry, because he is here.
Hello, good evening, everybody. It's me, Andreas. Yeah, I'm sorry I can't be live in the show. I would prefer to be live there, but I want to be at as much matches as possible, home matches as possible, so I have to fly to London and this time, and as far as I can see, the next home matches I will take the late evening flight from Stuttgart to London, so yeah, unfortunately only a few video clips.
So yeah, Andreas is on his way. Currently, as we speak, he's in the air flying over to the game on Sunday, Saturday, so he can't be with us live. But he has sent us some video clips, which we will get through throughout the course of the show on the various different subjects. So although he's not here in person, he is here and he's contributing to the show as always, of course. So I suppose there's only really one place we can start, isn't there? Going rewinding back to last weekend, that first game of 2024. Turned out to be a good game to watch as well. It turned out to be a good victory. So, of course, Watford in the FA Cup and, brilliant win in the end. Comfortable victory as expected, really. Though we made a bit more hard work of it than maybe we needed to. We missed a lot of chances, could have scored a lot more goals. Watford goalkeeper, I want to give her a lot of credit because I thought she was absolutely brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Made several good saves to keep the score down, and fair play to her. But in the end, of course, we did get the goals. We won 5-1. Yes, we gave away a really, really poor goal, but it was our own Michelle Aubameyang, unfortunately, got the goal, so that was nice for her. But yeah, overall, a very satisfactory afternoon. A good way to get back into the swing of things, and obviously through to the next round, which is all that matters in the FA Cup. I mean, Emma, it was on your birthday. It was a happy birthday for you. We scored a few goals. 5 different goal scores as well for you. That was good.
Sorry. No, it's good to see that. So I don't know. I can hear some background noise. I don't know whether I can hear you clearly. You can still hear me though, just to make sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It sounds like something. I don't know. Just some really weird background noise. I don't know whether it's my computer or yours. But yeah. No. Anyway, going to the importance. Yeah, it was good to see 5 different goal scorers. We played really well, and it's hit the off from the off. I feel like we could have been more clinical. We got goal on another day. We could take all the chances. We could have had double figures. A lot of credit, as you say, has to be given to the goalkeeper. And yeah, no, it was good. And I know for all the talk that the white kit resembled Spurs, I thought they looked pretty sleek in it. And I would love to see them wear it more often. But I suppose once is enough. And no, it was really good. And I thought it suited them well. They really played well in there. And I hope they wear it a few more times in the future. Probably be only once a season. But no, it was a good dominant performance. Took them time to break them down, and as I say, it was good to see 5 different goal scorers, and some of the football on show was excellent to watch. So yeah, no, it was a good birthday present, and onwards and upwards for the rest of the year.
So the FA Cup, it doesn't ultimately matter. We said this last week. You win 1-0 or you win 10-0, it makes no difference. The result is you're in the next round. So goal difference doesn't matter in the FA Cup, any knockout competition. So yes, it would have been. We could have scored a lot more goals. It could have been nice to score a few more. But I think we've got to be satisfied with the way we played. Overall, it was a good performance. Watford were a difficult team to break down because they defended so well close to the game. They put everyone behind the ball. They worked hard, made it difficult for us. But we had the quality, and it showed. The subs came on, made it nice to see as well. So let's find out what Andreas made of the victory against Watford.
Okay, so first of all, let's look back at the FA Cup against Watford. We won 5-1. Yeah, a dominant performance and a win that was never in doubt. So I think, all in all, we can be satisfied with the result and with the fact that we are through to the next round. Of course, the 2 early goals helped. I think it was after 15 minutes or so we were 2-0 up, and of course this helps against a team that only has one aim to defend. But we should have scored more. Our problem from the first half of the season is we are not clinical enough, and we could see this again against Watford. Good thing we had 5 different goal scorers, and what I think is very good that Leslie and Stina are on the score sheet. Yeah, what annoyed me in this match was the goal we conceded. Not the fact that we conceded a goal against Watford. It doesn't matter whether you win 5-0 or 5-1, but the way we conceded, this playing from the back, I hate this. And you can do this against a team like Watford, okay, but don't do this against the better teams. We will be punished if we do this. And if you concede a goal against top teams like Chelsea, City, United, even Liverpool or Spurs, then that you have a problem. So don't play from the back. Just our goal is on the other side. Let's try and attack. Of course, I was happy for Michelle Giamang that she scored against her parent club, and I think she's a real great talent and in good form.
Yeah, we probably argue too much of that. I kind of agree. I don't like this playing out from the back stuff anyway. I don't like it in the men's game, and I don't like it creeping into the women's game as well. It's not what we want to see, really. It's dangerous, it's risky. Yes, when it works, it can look good because you suck the opposition in and there's space in behind. I get why a team do it, but when you do it all the time, you're probably going to cost yourself a goal more often than score one at the upper end this season. It was almost a pointless thing that we did because we were under no pressure. We had plenty of opportunity to get the ball forward. We passed it forward, passed it back, and then it was a terrible loss of Watford to get a goal. And Andreas is right. I mean, we can see the goal against Watford against anybody, but to give the goal like that against a team like that, when you think the opposition that we'll be playing for the rest of the season, we can't afford to make those mistakes too often because against better teams, they score a goal and we're not going to score 5 at the upper end, are we? I mean, it's a problem in football, though, isn't it? This playing out from the back. I don't understand what the obsession with it is.
Yeah, I mean, people are trying to copy you. I mean, as much as we maybe say about Man City and what their issues are with FFP, Guardiola is a tactician and he's just a genius in that sense. He made Edison one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Not to go off topic, but I'm just putting some context in here. They're so good at playing out the back. Everyone's tried to copy them. I know we've done it a few times. It doesn't help. It has worked on occasion, but we shouldn't do it. It's just too risky. Why put yourself under that unnecessary duress when there's no need to? All in that sense, Cox just also. I don't want to Cox either. Sorry, apologies. Fox passed the ball. Emily Fox passed the ball straight to the lot. Just until up the field and start attack. What is the need to play? Vicky Palova wasn't even ready for that ball, and Lotte just played a blind pass across her own box. And you know what was going to happen? It was going to leak a goal. It's absolutely needless goal to concede. And as Andreas rightly said, against bigger teams, you'll be punished for that. And you don't need to be putting yourself, as I said, under that unnecessary duress. Just put it up, punt it up the field, start an attack. job done. Manu had nothing to do the whole game, and we absolutely anything. It was a vote on a copybook. Yes, it was 5-1, and we scored 5. But you want to always just try and keep out the opposition, not gift them a soppy goal like that. And that's one thing which we need to stop doing. Thing like that, just go long. There's no harm in going long. It really is there if you think about it.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, there seems to be some.
Yeah, I think it's your sound. I don't know what it is. There's some really background noise. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I can hear. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a lot better. A lot better.
Oh, right. I mean, I don't know. I've got a different mic plugged in. I used it last week, so I don't know what.
Oh, that's 1,000 times better, mate. 1,000 times.
Yeah, we'll stick with this one then, because this might be better anyway.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. There was a couple of comments in the chat there. LG had said the sound quality is.
You're not the only one. Yeah.
Is okay. Yeah, I don't know. LG says fix your sound. Yeah, I think I have done anyway. Let me know if it's better. Terry says he can hear Amar loud and clear, which is good. Obviously, my mic, whatever it is that's gone wrong with that, I don't know. But anyway, hopefully we fix that now. Greg said the same there, even if it's not very clear. Hopefully it's better, Greg, now that I've just took me mic out. Greg says the problem is Lotta tries to play like Williamson and can't do it.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's a part of the issue a little bit. I just think that we're probably not comfortable enough. We haven't got enough players, I don't think, who are comfortable enough playing that way. So you've got to adapt. It's no good saying, well, okay, we'll play out from the back because that's the modern way of playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Players, if you don't have the players to do it and to make it work successfully, all you're going to do is concede daft goals. And we tend to concede daft goals too often, not necessarily always that way, but we do a lot, don't we? We concede some daft goals, and that one was really, really such a poor goal to concede. It's a sort of goal that you look at and you think, wow, it's not ideal, is it at all? But, luckily it was just one goal in this game. It didn't really make a lot of difference to the score, but we need to work on, definitely, because we cannot afford, as Andreas said in his little clip there, you can't afford to gift other. We've done that a lot this season, haven't we? We've gifted teams goals from stupid defending situations, and it cost us again at the weekend. But let's hope we're learning from that. And either the two options are either we work on that more in training and become better at it, or we just say at the minute, let's not do it at all because it's not working.
Absolutely. No, there's no point. I agree. So it wasn't Emily Fox, by the way. I don't know who it was. I can't remember who it was. It might be Amanda Illistead, but so it wasn't Emily Fox.
No, it wasn't. No, Emily Fox didn't have much to do with that at all. It was just poor play all round, really. Defensively.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but these things happen. We conceded a goal, and luckily it was in a game that didn't cost us too much, did it at all? So, but yeah, I mean, we need to tighten up on that. There's no doubt, and be better defensively. That's been it seems to be what's happened. Last season, we had the best defensive record in the league. I think didn't Manu Zinsberger win the Golden Gloves or something like that for the most clean sheets? And the season before, I think we had the best defensive record. And this season, we've got all these great attacking players. It's almost like we thought, well, let's not worry about defending. Let's just score more goals than the opposition. And we've generally done it quite well. But there has been games, the Tottenham game, where we didn't score Liverpool, and we conceded a soft goal in the game. So, it doesn't maybe always work out as you want it to, does it?
No, it doesn't. It was actually the third best defensive record, but still only 16 goals conceded last season. Whereas if you look at it in the whole of last season, I'm just actually looking at it right now. In the whole of this season so far, we've already conceded 10. So I mean, it's okay. They started off half the season. We're already halfway towards the whole of last season's total, and that is a little bit concerning.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It is something we need to. Yes, we've scored more goals than this point last season, but we should do with the attacking talent that we've got. But you win titles and you win trophies by being solid defensively, building on a solid base, and then we've got the attacking talent to win games. If we keep clean sheets, we'll win nearly every game because we'll always score. Well, I say always score. We didn't score against Tottenham, but usually we'll score. So if we keep clean sheets, we're going to win a hell of a lot of games, aren't we? So, and it makes it a lot easier, doesn't it? At the end of the day, if you score, you're 1-0, you're 2-0, you don't concede a goal. It's a lot easier than if you go 1-0 down or concede stupid goals and put yourself under pressure. So it's something we've got to and hopefully we will. Hannah had it in the chat. He says, "Hi everyone, I'm not happy at all because we're not going to sign Mary Earps." Then Viv's not going to Chelsea.
Viv's not going to Chelsea. Are you stupid?
I mean, it doesn't look as though Mary Earps. It doesn't look as though we're going to sign Mary Earps now. With Manu Zinsberger, we'll talk about Manu Zinsberger's contract a bit later. But yeah, But it is what it is. We've it's an issue, isn't it? So we'll see. Terry says, "Stop worrying. Arsenal scored all 6 goals." Well, yeah, we did score all 6 goals. Yeah, that's one way of looking at it, I suppose. And Hannah says, "Arsenal will never win the trophy with Manu for sure." Well,
I don't know about that. Don't know about
we'll
that.
see. I don't think we can.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I agree that she's not the best goalkeeper ever in the world. Absolutely not. Could we get a better goalkeeper? Do we need a better goalkeeper? You could argue yes. I think she's a reliable enough goalkeeper. She's okay. She's good. But I thought we were going to be signing Mary Earps in the summer, and maybe now we're not, which is a little bit of a shame. But let's support Manu while she's here, because she's been a great servant to the club and she's done well.
Agreed.
And we can't really be too disappointed with it. But yeah, we will talk about it a bit more later. Terry says, "I blame Arteta for playing out from the back." Well, it's kind of the Pep Guardiola Barcelona thing, isn't it, really, where it's come from? I mean, Arteta wants to copy Pep anyway, so it's come from there. But you look at how many teams now play out from the back. It's nearly everyone. And most teams can't do it particularly well. And we can't anyway, and we can see a lot of goals. Greg says, the thing that annoyed me with the game, Amanda kept slowing the game down. Well, I don't know. Maybe, some of her passing is more sideways and backwards, I guess. But, she's keeping possession of the ball, isn't she? I suppose. But, I don't know. I didn't really notice that, actually. So if you think that was a reason, maybe you're right. I didn't notice that as a thing. Terry says, I put it down to concentration. It was so easy for the goal. Yeah, I mean, you've got that point as well. Having said that, though, we were 3-0 up. It wasn't like we were 6-0 up and cruising. We were 3-0 up, and they scored a goal, and had they got a second goal, it could have been a bit nervy, couldn't it? So maybe concentration was an issue, because it was a comfortable game in terms of we dominated possession, we dominated the chances. We said Manu didn't have anything to do, and then yes, maybe it was a little bit of lack of concentration, yes, but there's plenty of games in the WSL where we're the dominant team. Yeah, we've got to concentrate. We've got to be better than that concentration-wise, haven't we? We can't afford slip-ups like that against better teams, because, as we said, it's going to be costly. But yeah, maybe we can put it down to a little bit of that. But we've done it too many times for it to be just down to this one game. We've done it so many times this season that you start to think to yourself, it's got to stop. We've got to improve that aspect of our game. Anyway, Andreas, we've got some more thoughts on the Watford game.
Yeah, all in all, as I said, we won. It was a decent win, and a lot of players got minutes, so this was good. I think in the end, in stoppage time, there was a moment when we all couldn't breathe, when we saw that Beth went down, and she was lying there, and it doesn't look good in the first moment, but then she was up, she was walking or running, and she went to the fence after the match, and so I hope that nothing serious happened, but it was a really concerning moment. But as I said, we won 5-1, and we are through to the next round, so it was a successful match.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually quite a worrying moment, wasn't it, at the end when Beth went down? It looked like a knee as well, and you're thinking, no, please not again, just as she's just come back. That would have been terrible, but it does look as though, and obviously there's no injury issues with her this week, so luckily it's fine. But that was a worry, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a worry, and yes, it did have us worried for a while. I thought, no, not again. They had to leave the coverage on that. Credit to every player. Actually, they went a couple of times. I'd just like to say as well, every player coverage was really good. The commentary on there was really good as well. And it did have us worried. I thought, not again. This only just come back, less than 3 months. But thankfully, she was up and running again and didn't have nothing to worry about. Also, such a poor challenge late in the game. I think the referee maybe could have been a bit more decisive in that regard and maybe dished out a yellow card. But no, it was good to see her, and she really played well as well, I thought. I think the overall performance in general, if I just could mention, if I could just go talk about the game a bit more, if that's okay.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So Beth played really well. I think the whole team performed really good. I'd like to give a mention as well to Emily, not just to Emily Cox, who we'll probably talk about later in the show. I had a really good debut, but I tell you, I'm a player that I'm beginning to fall in love with watching every week is Vic Palova, because I mean she just ran the show. Honestly, again, she's just she's just looked like she's just born to play for this football club. Honestly, I mean, what a coup to get her from Ajax. Set up Russo with the five-field shot with the first goal, was the dummy for Leah Valti's second, and then to set up to dummy Beth, to set up Beth's dummy for the for Stina's goal. I mean, she's everywhere, and she makes it look so easy. She's like gliding around the pitch like it's a ballet dance or something. So yeah, for me, it was difficult to pick a man of the match, a player of the match, but they played well. But honestly, every time I see Big Pullover play, I would just play. I'd have more than happily could just pay the entrance fee to go watch her play because she's great to watch. And once again, I thought she was absolutely outstanding. She ran the show for us.
No, she was brilliant, and you're right. Every single game at the moment she's putting in 9 out of 10 performances week after week after week. It's incredible to see how she's improved. You know, I think last season she was settling in. Maybe she was playing in slightly different positions to what she was most comfortable in. Now she's settled into that midfield role, and she's been absolutely brilliant. She's probably been in the first half of the season our best player. I think quite some distance. Everybody's talking about Russo, of course. But and obviously the return of Beth Mead and stuff like that. But yeah, I think Vicky Palova's been our best player this season, week in, week out, just outstanding. And yeah, she was a massive part of those opening 3 goals, which settled us and got us into the game. So yeah, brilliant from her. I mean, I think we've got to mention and talk about the situation with Stina Blackstenius, I think, as well, because she's coming off the bench. And sometimes she's only given 10 or 15 minutes. She was given a little bit long on Sunday, but you know, her first touch, she scored a goal. You know, and then she set up another goal for Frida later on as well with a great cross from the right hand side, and she's contributing. It seems strange, and I don't want to be seen like I'm criticising Leslie Russo because I'm not. She's a brilliant player. No. You've got to say that in terms of goal output, in terms of scoring and creating goals, Stina's had much more impact this season on those regards than what Alessia Russo has. Alessia Russo brings other things to the game. Of course she does. We've seen how brilliant that she is as a footballer. But in terms of goal scoring, Stina is miles ahead of her in stats and, you know, conversion rate of chances and all this kind of stuff. You know, goals per minutes on the pitch. She's miles ahead. She must be one of the top strikers in the league in terms of goals per minute on the pitch because she's hardly getting minutes on really, and you know, 15 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and she's our top scorer with 8 or 9 goals already, and she's actually started about 3 or 4 games. It's incredible what she's doing. Last season, at the end of last season, she was doing the same, getting goals in big moments, and I really feel that Jonas has got to find a way to get her in that team. If it means her and Alessia Russo together, brilliant. But he's got to find a way to get her in that starting team because she's crucial to. If we are gonna win things this season, I think Stina is crucial, and it's almost baffling why she's not getting more minutes. Even some of the times he brings her on, there's so many games when you could have brought her on. The Tottenham game as an example, you should have brought her on now to play. We're 1-0 down. He brought her on with 6 minutes to play, 10 minutes to play, whatever it was. You know, you've got to get her on the pitch. She's a goal scorer. I mean, do you think that she's going to get more minutes as the season goes on, or do you think this is her role now, just to come off the bench and have an impact like she's done? Do you think that's maybe what the problem is? Because she's coming off the bench, doing so well, really young as she's doing.
Oh, sorry, I think your mic's gone again. By the way, sorry, I just couldn't hear that last bit, but I sort of got your point. Yeah, I do think it would be a shame. I don't want to even contemplate it. If you look at last season, how many important goals she scored for us in the Champions League semi-finals, in the quarterfinals against Bayern, in the semis against Wolfsburg, how many crucial goals did she score for us? I think she's an extremely underrated player. If you look at all the forward options now, it's with Viv, with Vic, with Caitlin, with Leslie, with Beth, with Chloe, with it's a really difficult. She could have come early against Spurs when the game we were struggling to create chances. She is a proper. She's since we criticised her last year for not being clinical enough in front of goal. With the Chelsea FA Cup tie, for an example, she's really gone and she's started to convert those chances. Look what she did in the League Cup final. Since then, she's become an integral player for the squad. And I think being reduced to all these appearances off the bench is maybe not doing her confidence the world of good. And but it's tough when you have that dilemma as a manager with all those world class centre forwards as Jonas does, as Jonas has at his disposal. But I feel like this was a perfect opportunity for the FA Cup for her to start a game. He still went extremely strong, which is fine. But I would have liked to see her start and from the beginning, rather than, as you say, being reduced to these substitute appearances. And whilst I'd love her to stay at Arsenal, which I can't think about her leaving. If she doesn't start more games regularly, I mean, Reading will probably be a great opportunity for her. Everton, I don't know whether she should have started that tomorrow. But I think maybe if there comes a point when does not starting games, at what point does that become too much? And I mean, as much it's unthinkable her leaving Arsenal, because I think she's a wonderful player and she has got, as I said, scored so many important goals for us. But at what point do you begin to think, oh, maybe I want to play somewhere else? And that's not something I want to have for her, because I rate Stina. As you say on the show, you love her. She's a very, very underrated player. She scores the goals. As the chant goes for her. She's been doing it since she joined Arsenal 2 years ago. So, yeah, I mean, it's unthinkable that she'd leave Arsenal. But I feel, not just in Conti Cup, but give the big guns a rest, because it will maybe like with the men's team, as we've seen with Bukayo Saka recently. There was a stat which said they started 99 of the last 100 games. Give those players who have just come back from injury a rest. Okay, they've had minutes, but you don't need to play them from the beginning, and maybe stick to your proven goal scorer instead.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm baffled really by.
Yeah, I am too.
I just don't understand it, because she proved last season when we had all those injury problems. She's the one who scored all those important goals. She scored in the final of the Conti Cup, the semi-final, like she did Bayern Munich. She scored both legs against Wolfsburg. Big goals in big games. She proved that she's a big game player, and so for her to have been almost cast aside because we've signed Russo, who's everybody's kind of favourite player almost. It's Jonas's favourite, clearly, because he wanted to spend a lot of money.
Best finisher in the world, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's exactly, and we're looking at the evidence on the pitch week in, week out, and if you're comparing them just as strikers and taking the chances, Stina is miles ahead of Russo in that regard.
Oh, she is, I agree.
And I'm not saying we've got to find a way to fit both of them in the team if we can. We've got Viv coming back as well, so it is difficult, and it's a problem for Jonas, definitely, that he's created, I suppose, by getting all these players in. But it is. I think Stina is the most underrated player in the WSL.
I would say that.
No one even talks about her. Nobody even talks about her. It's ridiculous. What she's done for us in the last 2 years is incredible, and the level, and for her to be able to deal with the fact that she's lost her place in the starting team, and still come off the bench and not sulk and spit her dummy out and not.
Exactly. She's not. No, she's not.
To come on and still make an impact virtually every single game she comes on, that just shows what mental strength that she's got, first of all, and it shows her quality. And Jonas he's got to find a way to get her in that team much more. He's got to give her more. If it's bringing her on earlier into games, do that. If it means starting her more games, rotating the team a bit more to get her starts, he's got to do it, because I agree. If it stays like this and she's on the bench every single week, she will leave. It's inevitable. No player wants to be on the bench every week.
No, exactly.
When you're proving yourself, you're coming off the bench. All you can do as a sub, if you're a sub in a team, all you can do is come off the bench and take your chance and show the manager that I deserve to be started. Stina's done that every single game.
Oh, yeah.
She's come off the bench and she basically said to Jonas, "You've got to start me," and he still doesn't. And even like you said, the FA Cup, perfect game to start her. He doesn't start her. She comes on her first touch and she scores. If that was me, when I scored that goal, I'd have been running straight over to the bench and saying, "Here you go, Jonas, there you go, mate. First touch. That's what I can do. Bring me on earlier. Start me in games." But she's not like that. Of course not. She cracks on with her job and she does it. But yeah, Terry says there, in my opinion, Stina should be starting games. Absolutely. She definitely should. LG says there, some players are just better as a super sub. Stina is one. Well, at the moment, that's the role she's been given. But she showed last season when she was starting games, she was still making an impact. She was still scoring goals and doing the job that she's meant to do. So I don't think she's just a super sub. At the moment, that's the role she's given. So she's got no choice. She's on the bench. She's got to come on and do something. And that's what she's doing. But yeah, I think she should definitely be starting more games, getting more games.
No question.
And let's hope that over the next few weeks, the next few games that she does. Terry says, play Russo in the Erdegaard role. Russo could play a deeper role. She can play wide. She can play wide as well. So, he can shuffle the pack and fit Steiner in, but he doesn't seem to want to change it too much there.
He doesn't.
So,
No, he doesn't.
but we'll have to wait and see. Lee's with us as well. He's given us a £2 super chat. Thanks, Lee, for joining us. He said, "Sorry for a win double this week." Well, yeah, that's what we all want, my friend. We all want a win double. Of course, tomorrow's the day that both teams are playing, which is a bit awkward. But anyway, LG says Russo is a better finisher than Steiner. She has been better than Steiner for the past 2 international tournaments.
I don't know about that, man.
Well, see, what you've got to remember is Russo's been playing for an England team that won the Euros and reached the final of the World Cup. Yes, Sweden are a good side as well. They progress well in tournaments, but I don't think you can base it just on that. You've got to look at Arsenal. That's all I'm looking at. You look at a goal scoring record for Man United. Russo didn't score loads of goals for Man United. I think she scored 10 last season, which is okay, but it's not. She's not an out-and-out goal scorer. And I don't think you can say she's a better finisher than Steiner because Steiner is a natural. Steiner doesn't necessarily contribute a lot else. Let's be honest. She's fast. She can run in behind, and she can finish. Russo's got a more all-round game, absolutely. But is Russo a better finisher? I don't think she is. On the evidence that I've seen for Arsenal this season, I don't think Russo is a better finisher than Steiner. With chances given and chances missed and chances scored, Steiner's ahead of her this season and probably last season as well. If you look at Russo for Man United, I wasn't watching her that closely for Man United, but I saw her a few times. But there you go. Hada says where's the start of Lacasse instead of Ford? Well,
that's a tricky one.
She played on the left. She came on the left, didn't she, against Watford, where she's normally been on the right. She replaced Caitlin Ford. I think Caitlin Ford's been playing well, actually. Would you do that, Emma? Put Lacasse in instead of Ford from the start?
It's so tough, isn't it? I mean, as you said, with all those forwards, I mean, I think one player should probably consider leaving. I feel sorry for her because she's injured. I don't go off topic here. Is Lena Hurtig? If you send her out on loan or maybe, I just feel for her. I just think she's just been unlucky with injury, but she doesn't really. I think Lacasse has looked really good. It's tough, but I suppose it begs the question, isn't it? Okay, no, I know somebody mentioned last week, we're going to lose them for one game because of a tournament. I remember a couple of years ago when, sorry, not to go off topic, but when we had lost a few players to a tournament that's taking place mid-season and the Australian players had to go away. And when Sam Kerr stayed at Chelsea and they weren't allowed to do the same with Arsenal. Okay, he's only going to miss one game of that. But no, she's proven. I think she has a capability. But whether you start ahead of Caitlin, that's a difficult one again for the manager, isn't it? It's I don't really know what to say, but she has shown that when she's come off the bench, she has made an impact. You know, the stunning goal she scored against Manchester United. She has shown that she's a good player, but I know that Caitlin, it's difficult because I know the forwards, they may be used to playing with Caitlin more than they were with Chloe, but I really don't know. On some occasions, maybe yes, I would start at the forward, but again, it's one for the manager to decipher, and it's one of many dilemmas they have to solve out. But in St. Conti Cup, for example, you would start her because again, you don't want to burn these players out. You want to give them the minutes, but at the same time, you also want to give them the rest. So it's a good headache for the manager to have with the squad and the players he has at his disposal. But it remains to be seen. But I think there is a good case for Chloe sometimes to start ahead of Caitlin, isn't there?
Yeah, I think there is. And again, it's a similar situation to the Steiner one, isn't it? You've got two players in a similar position that are both really good quality. And how do you give them both enough game time to keep them all happy? It's tough. And it's not a job. It's not an easy job for Jonas to figure out. No. And he's got to find a way to do it because it's his squad that he's put together. And he's got these players and he's got to make it work because that's his job. You know, we can talk about it and we can say, well, we think this player should play instead of that player. And we would do this, we would do that. Ultimately, it's not our job. We're just as fans, we watch the game and we've got our own opinions. But it's Jonas is actually, his job is on the line. Every single game he plays, every single game the team plays that he picks, his job's on the line. He's got to make those decisions that's right for what he thinks is the right thing for the team that he knows. He knows them players better. He watches them in training every day. We see him playing them. We've seen them and we've got our opinions of them, of course. But anyway, LG says there Russo scored 10 WSL goals and Steiner scored 8. So, so not a lot of difference when you think that Russo played in the Man United team that finished above us in the league. You could say probably had a better season than Arsenal last season. We had all those injuries. Don't forget, Beth Mead normally creates 10 goals. Steiner would have probably scored another 4 or 5 if Beth had should have probably scored another 3 or 4. So I think that just looking at those stats on their own don't really tell the full story. I mean, Russo played every single game for last season. I mean, Steiner played a lot of games towards the end of the season because of the injuries, but she was a bit in and out of the team before that. So, you know, in that stat on its own tends to suggest there's not a lot of difference in terms of their goal scoring. But if you look at their career, Stina scored a lot more goals in her career than Russo has. Yes, she's a little bit older, so she's played more games. But goals per game ratio is higher than Leslie Russo's over her whole career. And I think her record for Arsenal is justification enough. She scored 18 goals last season in all competitions for Arsenal. So, which was more than Russo scored for Man U in all competitions. So, I think that's it's not just about the WSL, is it? LG says there really is frustrating often at times, not clinical and making wrong decisions. Yes, she does, of course. I think Frida Marnham the same. They suffer that the same, don't they? Sometimes make the wrong choice. But what I like about Caitlin Ford is her work rate. What she, how hard she works for the team and all that. And I think that's really important. I'm not saying that Chloe Lacasse doesn't as well, because she's a worker as well. But I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough choice that, because I like Fordy. I think she's doing well. She's playing well. But Chloe Lacasse has got quality. There's absolutely no doubt. And she does, again, like Stina. We want to see her on the pitch more often, more minutes on the pitch for Chloe Lacasse, definitely. Definitely. But Jonas has got to work that out, hasn't he? Greg says there, Russo and Stina would score more if the supply was better. I agree. That's not for question really. But I think Russo's playing a lot more minutes, and she's scoring less goals. Stina's coming on, like I say, 10 or 15 minutes, and she's still outscoring Russo. That tells me something. It's not just about the chances being created, is it? I think Stina's running in behind is something that Russo doesn't really do enough of. Yes, the goal against Chelsea she did, but she's not doing that as much. Stina's got that option to stretch a defence by, with the runs that she makes and that kind of stuff. So I think they offer something slightly different in that role. But yeah, obviously creating chances leads to more goals. Absolutely. And sometimes you're right. The supply isn't always. Let me
just throw in a stat there for you, because it's actually quite interesting. Stina last 3 seasons, 18 goals, 1 assist. Started, but let's see, what was off the bench? Played 41 matches, 18 goals, 1 assist. And if you look at Russo, if we look at this season, I'm just googling this. This is very helpful. 4 goals and 2 assists this season. Stina scored 4, but for Man United, it's 22 goals and 7 assists. So if you think about 18, there's actually not much difference between them. I think Jonas, in a way, especially with Viv and Beth, had just come back from injury. Okay, they deserve now to be starting games, but there's also a in future, maybe, or not just in future, there's also an argument to be made for starting Stina and Leslie together. I think when you look at the Manchester United game, right, at the start of the season, they complemented each other really well when they were on the pitch. So I think they should be playing more often. But again, when you have that quality of forward players at your disposal, it's just tough to find a way. But I think maybe he has to adapt a bit more at certain times.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. LG's got a point here. It says you like Ford because of her work rate, but you don't like Russo. It's not that I don't like Russo. I want to make that clear. I think Alessia Russo is a brilliant player, and I think she's been great for Arsenal. But I'm just talking about goal scoring and nothing else. If you just look at, bearing in mind when Alessia Russo's played, most of her minutes have been as a centre forward of the team. The same as Stina. Stina's played as a centre forward, and as a centre forward, Stina has been more clinical than Russo. Minutes per goal this season shows that. Now, Alessia Russo's strengths are more. She's got more overall strengths as a footballer than Stina, I think. But in terms of just literally goal scoring, I think Stina is ahead of her. But you've got to find a way. Well, Jonas has got to find a way to get Stina in the team as a centre forward who's going to score more goals, and get Russo in the team playing in a slightly different role where she can use her strengths, which is her work rate and her quality and all this kind of stuff, which we know that she's got. And that's not. I'm not saying Russo's not a great player. I'm just saying that in that centre forward position, Stina needs more minutes. And if he's got to shuffle Russo around to get that, that's what he needs to do, because Stina deserves that opportunity. And Russo can be switched around because she's a versatile player. She can play in 2 or 3 other positions, whereas Stina can't really. The only place you can play Stina is as a centre forward, because that's her job and that's what she's good at, to play her there and find ways of getting the other players around her to help the team. And that seems to be where Jonas has struggled. But no, I love Russo. I think she's great. But as a centre forward, I think Stina's better in that particular role. But Russo should be playing, of course. Just to make that clear, it's not. I just think in that one position, Stina's better. That's all.
Yeah,
Terry says, my problem with Russo is she works hard all over the pitch, but I want to see her in the box. Exactly, yeah, as a centre forward, you want to see her in the box. And I'm not saying that's her fault. That's probably the role that she's given to do. That's the job she's given to do. And that's why when Stina comes on, Stina offers something different. So the defence has got used to maybe what Russo's doing, and then suddenly Stina's on, direct running in behind, and they maybe find it difficult to adapt. So it's working, and while it works, maybe he's going to carry on doing it. And I suppose you can understand why. It just frustrates me that Stina's on the bench in games where we've been crying out for a goal. Tottenham, for example, was the biggest example of that. Get her on earlier because she's likely to score you a goal. But there you go. Greg just disagreeing with Terry. Yeah, you got as a centre forward, you want to see. It's a bit like Gabriel Jesus for the men's team. You want to see him in the box scoring goals, not doing all the great work that he does outside the box. That's fair enough, but you want your number 9, your centre forward, to be in there scoring goals. Anyway, of course, the Watford game did as well give us the opportunity to see our new signing, who only signed officially a couple of days before. Emily Fox, of course, the American defender. We did speak about her signing last week. Wasn't expecting her to necessarily play in that game, or certainly start, but she did. And she played well. I mean, what did you make of her, Amar? Her first game, she's all right. She wasn't tested defensively, but I thought she linked up well with Beth Mead, didn't she, down that right?
Yeah, she literally. I think as far as debuts go, I think we've got ourselves a ball here, Richard. I really do. I think as a right back, to cover for Laura when she comes back, I don't know whether she'll play her more often, but she looked really at home. She was linking up down there. She even almost got an assist for Viv. She should have had an assist for Viv in the second half. But she looked right at home. She was linking up to play beautifully down that right hand side, as you say, with Beth. Gives us options with the fullbacks pushing forward, as we like to see a lot in the Premier League. It's maybe a tactic we can use further forward, but I think knowing Lotta and Leslie inside out is going to be good for her in the future. She's played with them, and she even talked about it. I don't know if you saw that clip with Sky Sports News, where she really looked like being at home and joked about about places to go out. But on the more serious side, I think also as well, she was seen talking to Heather O'Reilly, former gunner, of course, who played for us a few years back. I think I think we've got ourselves a really good player here, and I think she's going to fit right into that defence. And whether she'll push up more often remains to be seen. But as far as debuts go, I thought that was really promising. And other than Vic Palova, I would have probably, had it not been for Vic Palova, I would have probably given her man of the match. So I think she's going to be great for us. And until Laura comes back, which will probably won't be at least for what we're looking at, probably until March now. I think she's probably got that starting berth laid down. But as far as debuts go, it was promising. And hopefully she'll start more games now in the WSL. So. No, it's I'm happy to have a player like that at the club, and long may it continue. And I can't remember what the chant was, but fans have already given her a chance. So no, let's hope she stays here for a long time.
Yeah, no, she did look very, very good, and like you said, it was a good debut. I was surprised that she started the game, but she had been training in Portugal anyway with the team, so she had the chance to adapt a little bit. Plus, she knew a couple of the players already anyway, which helps, I suppose. But it was a very, very good debut. Really, really pleased. And I agree. I think she's going to prove to be a really important signing in a position that we needed to strengthen, as we said before. So the fact that we've got someone in of that quality is really, really good, and I'm sure she's going to be a great player for us. But let's hear what Andreas thought of Emily Fox's debut.
I forgot one thing in connection with the Watford match, the debut of Emily Fox. Yeah, it was a good one, and I haven't expected her to play 90 minutes as her last competitive match was in October, so very good. I think it helped that she was in training with the girls in Portugal in the training camp, and so she fitted in very well. And of course, Watford is not the team you can say that's her strength or her weakness, but it was a good debut, and it looks as if she's very good integrated in the team, in the defense, and I think we can expect a lot from Emily Fox. And another good news was that Leah Williamson is back in full training. So of course she needs 2, 3, 4 more weeks of full training, of contact training. But this is good news, and let's hope we will see Leah very, very soon back on the pitch. Can't wait to see her in our defense. Yeah. And another good thing, Leah Walti said in an interview with a Swiss newspaper, she has no idea where the rumors with Real Madrid came from, and she's satisfied where she is. There's no other place she wants to be, and she has signed last summer contract for 3 more years, so she has still 2.5 years on her current contract. That's very good news. We need Wally. She's such an important part of the team, and this was also good news. Okay.
See, this is one of the reasons why we love having Andreas on the show, because he brings us such good news, you see. And
he always does. He always, whether he's on a flight, whatever, he always gives us good news. I actually read about that. Yeah, I read about that a little while ago. I don't even Jonas was saying on Twitter. I follow the women's transfer news, which is always reliable for Twitter on women's transfers. Even he quashed the room, saying no idea where it's come from. I thought, why would she want to go to Real Madrid when she just signed a contract last summer? I mean, what? And she's been such a key part of the heartbeat of that midfield with Kim and now Frida's going to learn from her. Even Kyra Cooney-Cross has talked about when she was playing in the autumn and playing so well for us that she's keen to learn from Leah. Why would she want to leave Arsenal? We've got one of the best defensive midfielders in the world over the last few years. Why would you want to let her go? And yeah, it's good that and on that point as well, just she's almost undroppable in that sense. And so yeah, long as long as she wants. I hope she stays for a little while yet.
I mean, yeah, it's good that she. I mean, the fact that she felt she needed to come out and address that situation, I suppose, is a good thing to kind of quash the rumours straight away, which was nice. And of course, the other good news. I mean, Leah Williamson. It was good to see her in full training. And today, Jonas said in his press conference that she could well make the bench in the next week or so. She won't be ready to play, but she may well be in the squad in the next couple of weeks. So that's good news. Obviously, we're all looking forward to seeing Leah back. Of course, we are. And I don't know whether you saw that interview that she gave with one of the newspapers.
Guardian. I think it was the Guardian. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. She is just an absolute inspiration. You know, there's a lot of, I think, in the world in recent years, there's been a lot of poor female role models for young girls out there.
I would agree.
And Leah Williamson is the absolute pinnacle of the female role model. She's almost the perfect female role model to have, and I don't think that can be overlooked. You know, she's England captain. I know she's not played for a while, but she's the England captain. And what better person there is to represent, to be the leader of our national women's team? You know, she's unbelievable, not only as a player, as a person, and everything that she's about. And that was a fantastic interview. It was emotional. It was, you know, it gave it real insight into what she's had to go through with her injury. And you know, the fact that she's come out of it, she believes in a better place, not only physically but in herself, and I think that's good as well. So yeah, in times when I say there's too many maybe not so good female role models, Leah Williamson stands out above the rest, just absolutely brilliant. And the sooner she's back playing football, doing what she's great at as well, I think the greater it's going to be for everyone, because she's been missed. She's been missed for England, and we can't wait to have her back. So yeah.
I would just like to add to that. I would just like to add to that quickly. You know, I agree with you completely. There, it was heartbreaking to realize. You know, there was one fan. I think she even talked about Manchester United. Said, "Get up." We still get one or two fans that think, "Oh, they don't really know what serious knee injuries are, what women players go through, and the burnout, and the extremely hard yards they go to ensure they get their bodies in good shape and everything, and what they go through. It's not the same as the men. You know, we've seen more research needs to be done into these serious injuries. You just can't tell somebody to. You knew when she went down against Manchester United, it was really bad. And for someone to say get up like that is insensitive. It's like they've never watched women's football before. Okay, you don't see that all the time, but they don't understand what female footballers go through. And for her to open up on what she did, and you know how she's handled it. She's had a mother around her. You know, she saw her play the piano, and she's multi-talented, and she's fantastic. Look what she did. She was only one or two players to play every minute for England at the victorious Women's Euros. The way she's led the team. I said a few years ago, future England captain, and I think she's only going to continue to inspire young girls. Every time you see her at a game, I've seen in the past, they're quick to want her autograph because she's so inspirational in that regard. And the one thing we mustn't do, however, I know as Jonas has couple of it, we don't want to rush her back. We know what peril that has caused us in the past. So only when she's 100% fit we'll start her, like we did with Beth and Viv. Maybe bring her off the bench just to start, but no, as you say, to have people like that in your squad is truly inspirational. And well, she's been at Arsenal since she was a young girl, and hopefully she won't want to move anywhere else, because I love watching her play, and a lot of girls have the want to, as you say, use her as a role model.
I don't think she'll leave Arsenal. She's just
No, I don't know why I'm saying that.
Yeah, she's like a Tony Adams in that sense. I don't think she'll ever leave Arsenal.
Yeah.
She'll stay for the rest of her career, and that'll be that. So yeah, but it's going to be great to have her. But you're right, we mustn't rush her. We mustn't get too carried away, and it may well take her a few games, like it is to get back to her best form. I mean, just because Steph hit the ground running, if you like, really, we've struggled to get ourselves back to her best, and maybe Leah might take some time as well. We don't know yet, but let's just look forward to seeing her playing again, and hopefully it all goes well, and she will be back to her best very quickly, because as I say, she's been missed. She's definitely been missed by England, by Arsenal, and it's going to be great to have her back very, very shortly. LG says, in my honest opinion, I felt Fox was a bit rusty. She wasn't amazing by any means, just steady.
Don't comparing her to Trent. How could you compare to Trent?
I don't think we're getting too carried away, but I think for a debut, it's always difficult, isn't it? When you go to a new team, you've got to adapt to new teammates, you've got to adapt to a new system of play, a new style and stuff like that. And I think that when you take all that into account, and the fact that, she hadn't been with us very long, it was a very good debut. And yes, I'm hoping that you're right. She was rusty, and she's going to get a lot better, because how good that's going to be when she's at her best. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she played well in that. But no, we're not going to get carried away yet. But she looks a very, very good signing, and we're excited to see her how she's going to develop in the team. And what a start! I mean, she played well. That's all you can do, isn't it? But yeah, if you think she's rusty, then I'm pleased, because it means she's going to get even better. And then we're going to see.
Exactly.
I hope she is rusty. And she was rusty. That'd be good.
Don't
Terry
judge
says,
a book by its cover, as they say. Don't judge a book by.
Yeah, it's early days, isn't it? Terry says, I'm well pleased with Fox signing. Seems to compliment me though. Really. Yeah, I thought they linked up well at times, and that's just going to get better with more games, isn't it? They're going to develop a better relationship. But yeah, what a great start that was for that, really. Hada says, Isabel doesn't know how to play his players. Well, he doesn't know how to play some of it, seems. But anyway, he's got a lot to choose from, hasn't he? It's difficult to get everybody fitted in. Greg says, solid debut and good at taking defenders on across. And yeah, I thought exactly. She did everything that you'd want her to do as a right back. She looked solid defensively, not tested that much, to be fair. But yeah, going forward, she looked really dangerous, didn't she? And it was really good. Terry says, I was just going to say the same thing, Emma, don't rush her back. Yeah, and I think we're all going to be conscious of that. We can't, they won't rush her back, absolutely not. She's going to come off the bench. She'll be on the bench. She'll get 10 minutes here and there, a few games before she's a bit like Beth did. And Viv as well. They haven't come straight back into the starting team, have they? So, but yeah, I'm sure it will. And of course, after beating Watford, after a great debut from Emily Fox, we then of course got the FA Cup draw, and wow, what a tie that's drawn us out. That was pretty exciting, wasn't it? I mean, Arsenal, we're never going to get things easy for us, are we? We're never going to get the draws that Chelsea get. I know we had to play Chelsea last year, but generally we do get a tough draw. It's happened again. At least we're at home this time. We could have obviously away from home would have been a lot tougher. It's at home. We've got a great record at Meadow Park in the last 2 or 3 years against Man City. We've won semi-final last year. We've beaten them the last 3 seasons at home in the league as well. So it's a good record at home against them. They are a good side, of course they are. But I think Meadow Park playing Man City, I'm almost, I wouldn't say pleased with a draw, but I'm actually quite excited about that. What did you make of that? Obviously, one of the games we didn't want, but I'm quite excited for it now.
Like last year, Chelsea, we could have got them away. Look at all the teams that were left. I mean, you had no disrespect to them, but you had your London City Lionesses, you had your Crystal Palaces, you had your Wolves. Why can't we just have it easy for once? What do you think? We dominate this competition, and we haven't won in 8 years. Okay, it's a good chance to knock out a rival, but when you see the form they've actually been in, and the fact that how well their players are playing, okay, I would say we were a little bit fortunate to beat them in November, even though we played well. We hung in there, we done deep, but this is a different kettle of fish. And as we know, if we make the same mistakes or whatever we did against Watford, then look at their front three and the way Joe Ward is playing. It's like chalk and cheese almost to what you had against Watford. No disrespect to them, it's a great tie, and it is at home. Thankfully, I know a lot of people wanted it to be played at Emirates. When you think about it, it's not really viable to play all these big games at the Emirates, because it just doesn't really work out. And if you can't for FA Cup games, okay, you can do it for league games. But we've seen in the Champions League and in the FA Cup in the past, it's not easy to sell. It's not an easy sell. So in a way, it's good at Meadow Park. I think it actually the atmosphere, the players are closer, the fans are closer to the pitch, and as you saw, they'll cheer them on every. We've got the best fans in the world as far as I'm concerned. So I suppose if you want to win it, you have to beat the best. And well, this will be the big test for us. And it's been announced it's a 12:30 kickoff, and it's going to be live on the BBC. So hopefully we'll get a good audience in, and it'll be great if we can knock them out. But it's not really what I would have wanted, but it would be great to continue our recent record against them. We beat them in the Conti Cup, needed extra time. We haven't lost to them, I think, since 2016, if my memory serves me correctly. So let's continue that way, and well, let's try to get through the quarterfinals.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it is an ideal draw, but the most important thing for me is that we're at home.
Yeah,
and I think that any cup draw, you want to be at home wherever you play. And the fact we've got a home advantage, it is an advantage as well at Meadow Park. Yeah, I don't think it was viable to play at the Emirates with such short notice to get the game on. You know, I think it takes a lot more planning to get a game at the Emirates. It's not something that you can do in a couple of weeks. So it's the right decision anyway. I'd rather play Man City at Meadow Park, where we've got such a good record against them. So, you know, they'll be more worried about coming to Meadow Park to play, knowing that they pretty much lose there every year in the last few years. So, yeah, it's an exciting tie, isn't it? It is exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. It's Sunday, the 11th of February, 12:30 kickoff is it's on live on BBC. So it's everyone's excited for it. It's going to be a great game. It's a tie round, obviously, and whoever wins that game is, like you said, one of the big teams is out. Whether it's us or whether it's them, one of the big teams is out, and there's no replay, so it's going to be decided on. So we've got a home advantage at home for the 90 minutes for extra time and potentially penalties. We've got home advantage all the way through, so we need to take advantage of that and make it count, and hopefully we can get through. I'm confident we can get through because, you know, it's a competition, as you rightly say, Amar, that we've dominated for years, but we haven't won for, will it be 8 years this year since our last
8 years, yes.
So it's overdue, and maybe this is our year. You know, you can't expect to win the FA Cup by just playing against teams from the Championship or whatever. You've got to play the teams. You're going to have to play the team at some point. Let's get them out of the way, beat them. And let's, you know, Chelsea beat us in the same stage last season, went on to win the cup. Let's beat Man City and go on and win the cup. Let's look at it like that. But it is going to be tough, of course. Terry says,
no.
You don't want to play Man City and then Chelsea, do we? 2 rounds in a row. That would be really tough, wouldn't it? Let's get past Man City and then hopefully get someone a little bit easier than Chelsea, and then maybe get Chelsea later on in the final, or maybe someone knocks Chelsea out before. Who knows? Because West Ham came close, didn't they?
Very close.
Game, so well played, West Ham. Almost did it, but not quite. LG says, I don't know why nothing has been mentioned about Laura potentially returning or being close. Got injured around the same time as Leah 8 months ago with Watford. Yeah, it was a couple of weeks after. I mean, Laura's injury was in May, wasn't it? 2nd of May, the Watford game.
Yes, that's right.
Leah was a month before, wasn't it? So she's a bit behind Leah. But yeah, of course, she won't be far away. I don't know whether she's had maybe more difficult rehabilitation because it's not the same for every player. And maybe she's had a little bit tougher. I don't know. But yeah, it's not really been mentioned. And I wasn't anticipating her playing again until April anyway, if I'm honest, because her injury was in May and it's nearly a year till they play again. So I wasn't expecting her to come back yet in any case. But yeah, I'm sure we'll hear more about Laura's recovery in the next month or so as she gets closer and closer. But once she's training with the team again, like Leah's been doing, I'm sure that it'll be mentioned more. They'll obviously speak to her about her injury and stuff as well, and near at the time. But yeah, let's see. Greg says they're a great tie. We'll do for them what we did to Chelsea in the league. Well, let's hope so.
Cool.
I'll be quite happy if we do to them what we did to them in the league because we beat them. So that'll do for me. You know, a 2-1 victory. We'll have it all day long, won't we? Or 1-0 after extra time like we did last season in the Conti Cup.
Yeah.
And of course, beating Man City in the Conti Cup led us to winning the trophy, as you can see behind me there. The trophy. So let's hope it's got good omens there as well. Of course, Andreas has given us his thoughts on the FA Cup draw as well. So let's hear what he has to say about it.
Yeah, the FA Cup draw for the next round is already done. And as expected, we have a big opponent. The second worst possible draw after Chelsea, it's City. There's only one good thing, it's at home, it's at Meadow Park. And for City, it will be at least as difficult as for us. And and they have to play away against the top team. So yeah. Let's look at the last matches. We have a really good record against City at Meadow Park. We have beaten them in Conti Cup semi-finals in extra time, and then in the league 2-1 with this banger from Katie. And this season in the league we also won 2-1 when Chiara Keating had this this strange moment. Everything is possible. I think it's two top teams, and City is really strong this season, so it's difficult to say. And of course, it's still 4 or 5 weeks till the match. So yeah, you can't say which player is in which form on 11th February. Hopefully, no injuries, and then. We have to be self-confident.
Yeah,
we do. We have to be self-confident, of course, and I'm sure we will be. And I must admit, at the time the draw was pulled out on Monday, I was like, why do we have to get Man City? But the more the week's gone on, the more I thought, you know what, we're at home. I'm actually pretty confident we can win, and I'm looking forward to that game because I think it's going to be amazing. Actually, what a great tie. But let's see. Terry says, we've got Chelsea by the Gingan Googly. Well, we've beaten them once. Let's not get carried away. We've beaten them once before, and it didn't really make a lot of difference. LG says their injuries were 12 days apart. Well, actually, the Man United game away when Leah got injured was on the 19th of April, and the game where Laura got injured was on the 2nd of May. So it's about 2.5 weeks, a bit more than 12 days. But yeah, close, I suppose. But I say the rehabilitation for every player is different, isn't it? So just because Leah's back now doesn't mean that Laura's going to be back within 12 days or 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks. It doesn't quite work like that. The injuries will be slightly different, although it's an ACL and the recoveries are different. I mean, Viv had a harder recovery than Beth, for example. Leah seems to have had a slightly easier recovery than Beth in terms of how quick she's got back quicker, hasn't she, in terms of time. So, let's just wait and see. I'm sure Laura will be back in time soon enough, and we'll just have to wait for more news, really. But no news on that sense is good news. I'm sure her recovery is going well. She's doing all she needs to do. She's working hard in the gym and all that kind of stuff, and I'm sure she'll be back soon enough. So, yeah, but it's impossible to say because I say that the recovery is different for everyone, isn't it? But, yeah, I mean, obviously, in terms of the FA Cup, it is exciting. It isn't. It's nice to have a big game, isn't it, as well? These are the sort of games that you want, really. The Watford game was a nice game to get back into it again, but everybody expected us to win. This game's got a bit more riding on it because it could go either way. Two great teams going at it, and I'm sure it'll be a really good game. It's going to be a sellout at Meadow Park, I'm sure, and obviously TV are going to watch it. It's going to be great. Just really look forward to it, and hopefully we can go through and when you get to the quarterfinals, you start dreaming about Wembley, then, don't you? Because you're not far away, and you get that excitement.
Yeah.
Let's beat them, and let's do the quarterfinals. I've also got some more stuff to say about the Man City game as well.
We can beat them. We have a strong team. We are playing at home, and it will be home atmosphere. I think about 4,000 attendance at Meadow Park, and. Yeah, for us it's between two league games, West Ham away and United home. And for City, their program isn't easier. They have Leicester home and Chelsea away. So no chance to say, easy matches. No. We have to go to play against United at home, and Chelsea away is the task for City that's coming on the weekend after the cup match. So yeah, let's see. At least it will be a fantastic match of two top teams, and let's hope we have the better end for us. If we go through, then we have eliminated one of the big teams, and then everything in FA Cup is possible. I think it's our time this year. It's so long since we last won the FA Cup. I nearly can't remember. So let's go through.
Well, we can remember it. It was 2016, Andreas. It was 8 years ago, the last time we won it. So yeah, it's been a long time. You're right, and it is long overdue. Maybe this is our year. maybe drawing Man City at home's got omens, as we said, with a Conti Cup last year. So yeah, let's wait and see. But yeah, a lot to come between now and then. Of course, there's some big games as well. But yeah, looking forward to that one. Really excited for it. Hannah says there, Farrell Williams say that Viv to Chelsea next summer. Really, no.
Why would she?
I can't see that happening. I've got to be honest. I can't.
Could you imagine as well? Just saying, I know it's not unlikely, but could you imagine what would that do to Beth and Viv's relationship if they ended up playing on opposite teams? I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, well, that'd be interesting in their house, wouldn't it? After playing Chelsea.
I'm not thinking about that. I'm not thinking about that.
No. I mean, I would be. I mean, I would be absolutely amazed if that happens. I would be amazed. Obviously, we can't completely rule it out, but I'll be shocked. I can't see it. I'm certainly not going to spend between now and next summer worrying about Viv going to Chelsea because I don't think that's going to happen. But maybe Farrell Williams, she's got inside information that we don't know about. Maybe she has, who knows? But I'm going to say no, that's not going to happen, and we hope it's not going to happen. But let's wait and see. LG's just clarified that the Wolfsburg game was on May the 1st, not May the 2nd. It may have been, that was that weekend. 12 days after. Well, it's 12 days then, fair enough. But even so, we don't know the rehabilitation of each injury, do we? So we can't do it. We haven't, like you said, we haven't heard anything about Laura's injury, have we? So we don't know. We can only assume that she's a rehabilitation is going as it's meant to be going. And I'm sure if there'd been any major setbacks, they would have said. We just, like we've had to with all the other injuries, we're just going to have to be patient. And I'm sure she'll be back at the right time when she's ready. And hopefully it'll be this season. When an injury comes so late in the season before, you sometimes wonder whether they'll play the following season at all. But she may well be available for the last, 5, 6, 7, 10 games. Who knows? But let's wait and see. Let's not worry too much just because she's not back or she doesn't appear to be as further on as Leah when the injuries were. As you say, yeah, maybe you're right. It was maybe closer than I assumed. But yeah, let's not worry too much just because they're not making noise about Laura's return. I'm sure she's doing everything that she needs to do. Terry says Viv ain't dropping her standards. Why she want to play for mid-level team like Chelsea next season? Well, just because they're losing Emma Hayes doesn't mean they're suddenly going to drop down the league. I'm not sure, but anyway, we'll see. I'm sure Viv won't go to Chelsea. I'm not saying she'll necessarily stay at Arsenal. Will she go to Chelsea is my question. I would say no, would be my feeling.
Don't forget as well, a couple of years ago, she was actually linked with a move to Barcelona. Everyone thought almost as one lady just thought she's definitely going to go to Barcelona, and she didn't. And so I won't take anything. It's all hearsay, I would say. Look what happened with Leo Balti. Nobody's going anywhere. It's just hot air, some of the stuff the journalists chat, and hopefully it will continue. Or hopefully they'll prove them wrong, as they always tend to. Really,
I must admit, that was the year that we finished runners up to Chelsea on the last day, wasn't it? When we all thought Viv was leaving, and then a few days later she signed a new contract. We're like, okay, brilliant. But yeah, we did assume she was leaving in, and she didn't. If she was going to leave, you could sort of understand her going to Barcelona because of the whole thing with Barcelona winning the Champions League and all that kind of stuff. Whereas I'm not saying Chelsea have no chance of winning those things because obviously they're a good side that won a lot of trophies, but if Emma Hayes is leaving, there's going to be a period of transition at Chelsea, you would imagine. Like when Alex Ferguson left Man U, when Arsene Wenger's left Arsenal, you get those transitional years, a couple of years. And would we want to go there now? I don't think so. But let's just hope that that's just rubbish and that she doesn't. But anyway, we hope that that's not going to happen. But I would be shocked, literally. Yeah. And I say, it would be interesting, wouldn't it? Her and Beth, actually, that would be interesting dynamic to that whole thing, wouldn't it? If she went anywhere else in the WSL, actually, not just to Chelsea particularly, but if she went to Man City or Man United or somewhere like that, it would be just the same, wouldn't it? But I'm sure she won't. Anyway, talking about obviously the WSL, it's back. It's been what 3 weeks or 4 weeks since the last
5 weeks. WSL? 5 weeks.
Is it 5 weeks? Wow, that's a long time. That seemed like a long time. We haven't quite forgotten the Tottenham game because that was so disappointing. But we can put it all behind us now because tomorrow we are back in it. Well, hopefully we're back in action, and we are playing against Everton. So Everton at Meadow Park, of course, again, like so many games, especially at home, we start as massive favourites, of course, to win the game. We need to win the game, having lost to Tottenham. We can't afford to drop any more points. Everton are a bit of a a strange side in many ways. They can play really well and they can beat anybody, or they can be really poor and they can lose to the bottom team. So you never really know what you're going to get with them. Obviously, Katrina Call's gone on loan there, as we mentioned last week, but she can't play because she's on loan and you're not allowed to play against your parent club in the WSL. So she won't be playing, which is good news for us in a sense, because we know she's a good player. But yeah, I mean, Everton at home is a game you would expect us to win, I would say. I mean, what are you kind of? Obviously, you're going to be going tomorrow, aren't you, Emma? If it's on, you're going to be there, aren't you, as well?
Two things, yes. I hope it goes ahead. The freezing temperatures will dictate that. They said that I was reading on the way home from work that there'll be a decision made by 11 a.m., which is leaving it a bit late. And you feel for those fans. Again, the part of the group I'm on Facebook, which I don't think you're familiar with, the Arsenal FC fans forum run by your good friend and mate Jason, isn't it? I think you know him well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Jason Smith, yeah.
Again, it depends. It's going to go down to, I hope it won't be, but we know we've had matches called off in the past. It would be a shame, but especially with rescheduling and the fact that fans who originally planned to travel to the game may not be able to make it. But I hope it goes ahead. I mean, I did manage to take the day off work to be there and to meet Andreas. I've not been to Meadow Park in over a year, actually. It's been the last time I went was to see the win over West Ham last season, which seems like a lifetime ago. So I'm hoping it goes ahead, and I've got my ticket, and hopefully I'll be able to travel. I'll have to wait until the morning. And I think, as you say about Everton, and the other thing I wanted to mention is the fact that it's not going to be shown live to those who aren't able to attend because of this stupid rule that the UEFA has of blacking out games that kick off at 3:00 on Saturdays. If you think about it, it's a 2:00 kickoff. I mean, what are you supposed to do to all those fans that can't watch it? Even Jonas has said himself, yes, he feels sympathy. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, my computer fell down. Apologies about it. Sorry about that.
We've had a few problems now. My sound's gone funny. Emma's laptop's gone funny.
Oh. What happened? It's with you. Oh, sorry, my computer. No, sorry, my computer fell down. Apologies about it. No, as I was saying, sorry. The thing is about, I apologize. That was a bit embarrassing. The fact that it's not being shown live to those guys who aren't able to watch it because of the rule is ridiculous. That they have to watch it on playback. I don't understand that at all, and it doesn't make sense. I think that's something they need to look into. So yeah, I mean, hopefully it goes ahead. If it doesn't and gets rearranged, those guys, when it gets rearranged, those guys that won't be able to travel sadly won't be able to watch the game. But it might be available for those on the FA Player. But is an opponent, going back to the game itself, is an opponent that we have dominated down years, and we haven't really come close to being troubled by them. Okay, it was only 1-0 last season, but as part of the club, we still kept a clean sheet. So as they can blow hot and cold. Brian Sorensen has got them playing good football, but it always comes literally, there's a topic, they always seem to come unstuck against the big team. So anything other than a comfortable win would be a surprise. But knowing us and knowing the fact we've only kept 2 clean sheets this season, they have the capability to make it difficult for us. So I'm not taking anything for granted. But if I had to make a score prediction, I would tend to go with the score it's tended to be quite often when these two have played each other. And I'll just go by a 3-goal winning margin for us, probably either 3-0 or possibly 4-1. So let's see.
Well, we would be more than happy with that, wouldn't we? Absolutely, no doubt. Terry says, I watched Villa versus Everton last week, and Everton totally dominated Villa. That's why I'm going 5-1 to Arsenal. Well, yeah, I mean, they played well, actually. But I watched a bit of that game because obviously Katrina Cole was playing, as you know. So, yeah, Everton played well. But, yeah, we're a different opposition to Aston Villa, aren't we? Let's be honest. And I'm sure we can get the result. Greg says the game will be on. It's not going to freeze tonight. No, it isn't necessarily going to freeze tonight. I think the issue's been because although the temperature's not been freezing, it hasn't, because of the sort of wind chill factor and stuff like that, it hasn't really thawed out the frost that we've had all week yet. I think it'll be on as well. I'll be amazed if it wasn't. I think if it was maybe 2 or 3 days ago, it may have been a problem, but I don't think it's so much of a problem now. I think you're right. I think the game will go ahead. Let's hope so, because Andreas is on his way. You know, all that money he's spending on a flight. So, you know, and all that, and hotels and stuff like that, and it's not great, is it? You know, but I remember we was down for the Tottenham game the other season when that got called off because of COVID. So, you know, I know what it's like traveling down to a game it being off. So let's hope that doesn't happen. I'm sure it won't. I'm sure you're right. Absolutely should be on. LG says that Everton is one of those sides that absolutely get hammered by the big teams in the smaller games. That's why the WSL should have 2 relegation zones for competitiveness. Again,
it's a tough one, isn't it?
No, I agree. I think there should be 2 up and 2 down. Absolutely, you're right. And I'm sure it'll happen sooner or later. Definitely. It's going to be run the WSL next season, isn't it, by a new company? And maybe that'll be one of the things that they bring in, because they're going to bring in some changes, I'm sure. And that would be a very popular one, wouldn't it? I'm sure everyone wants 2 up. Maybe more teams in the WSL. Maybe get it so it's like 14 teams instead of 12. Have 2 up, 2 down, and maybe that's the way to go. I don't know, but we'll see. Greg says FA player is showing the game. Well, it's an interesting point you make. The FA player is showing the game, but not in England. So what you have to do is, and I'm not advocating people doing this, but if you sign up to a VPN outside of England and sign into the FA player from a VPN outside of England, you should be able to watch the game, because it's just the fact that they're showing it after the game means that when it's live, they're showing it with commentary and everything else. They're just not allowed to show it in England until after the 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock cut-off point. But if you sign into a VPN in a different country, especially somewhere like maybe Australia or America or somewhere like that, you will be able to watch it. Well, you should be able to watch it on the FA player, because they are showing it live in every other country pretty much in the world, which is crazy when you think that if you live in Australia, you can watch a WSL game in England on the telly live. If you live in England, watch your own league. It's crazy, isn't it? But anyway, that's the rule. I'm sure, again, this new company taking over the WSL are going to change all this, because the TV deal runs out at the end of this season anyway. So hopefully we might start to get some sense. We can only hope. We can only hope. We've got Anton in the chat here, my friend. He says, very interested in the conversation. Conversion percentage for this game. Chances taken, be missed. It's been poor this season. Yes, you're probably right. I would say, we have missed a lot of chances, but as long as we get enough goals that we need to win the game, that's the only kind of statistic that I tend to worry about too much. Is can we score enough goals to win the game each time? And that's what matters. Greg says Andreas is meeting Amar.
Hopefully.
That is true, yeah, but of course Amar won't be at the game if it's off, will he? So so anyway, obviously it's a good game we have to win, because we've lost 2 games where we can't lose anymore. On the Everton game.
Yeah, now let's look on Saturday. The WSL is back with a home match versus Everton. The race for the title continues. Yeah, we're trailing Chelsea by 3 points due to this stupid loss against Spurs. It's Chelsea on top, then 3 points behind it's City and us, and I think another 3 points behind us is United. The pressure is on all the top teams now. No excuses allowed, no dropping points against weaker teams allowed. We have dropped points against Spurs and Liverpool, so enough for this season. We have to beat Everton, and I hope the match will take place and will not be postponed due to weather conditions or frozen pitch. This would be totally annoying for me, flying from Germany to London for a match and then the match is postponed. Please not. Everton, they lost Natalie Bjorn, the defender, to Chelsea. I think a key defender for them. Of course, they signed Catherine Cool on loan, but they are not allowed to play her against us. That's an advantage for us. Our problem will be, I'm sure Everton will play a low block, and we had a lot of problems against teams playing low blocks. Remember Liverpool, Villa, even Bristol or Spurs. That's a problem. We haven't solved this tactically. I hope Jonas has found solutions for this, for playing low block, and let's see. Of course, we have the better team, the better squad. We have home advantage. We play at Meadow Park.
I mean, the good thing about playing at Meadow Park, well, many good things, but one of the good things is usually you can see Andreas in the crowd because he actually sits behind the dugout. Then you can usually see him. I've seen him every single game on the telly. You can see him sitting there in his little seat. So, which is an advantage to us watching the game, of course, and hopefully it's an advantage to the team. Are you talking about obviously the low block and a solution to it? Well, for me, we've got a ready-made solution for a low block, and she's been sitting on the bench most of the games that we mentioned earlier. Called Stina, and those low block defences. So. But I'm not sure she'll start tomorrow. Unfortunately, it will be probably Alessia Russo again, and probably Beth Mead and probably Caitlin Ford as a front three, because that's the first choice front three, and it's a very good front three as well. I'm not saying it isn't, but I obviously would prefer to see Stina in there as well somewhere. But anyway, we shall see. We've got Ryan in for the Mr. Arsenal podcast there. He says, even all a bit concerned about the pitch inspection tomorrow. I think that's just more a routine thing, that because the weather's been cold. I mean, even Arsenal said themselves, didn't they? They'd had this heat bubble over the pitch most of the week, but the FA are saying what they don't want to happen is they don't want people turning up and doing that situation that happened last season with that Chelsea game where they played for about 5 minutes and then abandoned the game. They don't want that to happen again, so they're taking all necessary precautions, and that is making sure there's a pitch inspection in enough time. It won't be enough time to stop Everton travelling. I don't know whether Everton are travelling in the morning or they're coming, or they've already travelled tonight. But even so, it would stop the fans maybe coming into the ground, wouldn't it? So that's the only reason. It's just as a precaution. I would be shocked if it was called off. Looking at the temperatures tonight, I don't think it will be. But they have to do it, and it's fine. Let's just 11 o'clock. I think they're announcing it, aren't they? So we'll know earlier if it's on or off. But I'm sure it'll be on, and I think it's just a routine thing that they've got to do. If they didn't arrange a pitch inspection and then for whatever reason they called off the game at like 1:30 or something, then there'd be a massive outcry. So they're doing the right thing. It's the right way to do it, and I'm sure it'll be fine. But let's wait and see, because we don't know until tomorrow, do we, what the weather's actually going to do. Greg says 4-1, 3-0 by half.
I don't know about that.
We will take that. I'll take the one. I said that. Anton says doesn't Stina shine most when she has space to work with? Low blocks deny space. Yeah, it does, but because Stina's always going to run in behind, she's always going to try and run in behind, isn't she? And yes, you could say there'll always be an opportunity for her to do that. You know, Everton can sit as deep as they like, but there's going to be some space at some point, and Stina is better at exploiting those gaps where they're there than maybe Alessia Russo is. I think her strengths lie in other areas, but let's see. I actually think that we'll win the game regardless, because we're a better team than ever, and we've got better players, and we're playing on a pitch that we've got a very, very good record in. But let's see. I'm sure Stina will be on the bench anyway. Terry says it's supposed to be 6 degrees tomorrow. It's the last 2 weeks. I've hated the last 2 weeks. It's been quite too. But I don't know quite about sunbathing weather, but yeah, I mean, 6 degrees would feel like the tropics, wouldn't it, from what we've had? And it's not going to feel like 6 degrees though, because of the wind chill. It's going to feel a lot colder. But yeah, 6 degrees you shouldn't have a game called off for a frozen pitch when the weather's 6 degrees, should you? Let's be honest. Yeah, it'll be a match. So I'm sure it'll be on. I'm sure it will. But yeah, let's hope for Andreas' sake as well, because he's making that big journey.
And my sake as well. I'll be good. Yeah. And so
but you haven't got. Yeah, but you haven't come as far as Andreas has.
No. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah.
You've had to take time off work, though, so I suppose that's but I'm sure it won't be on. Actually, what we've got to get is Andreas didn't give us his score prediction, did he? So we need to get a score prediction from Andreas, because that's not right, is it? We do have to get that.
Everything is on our side, and we should win. As always, an early goal would help, at least against teams who play a low block, because then Everton can't stand with 8-9 players in their box. They have to open and try something by themselves. So let's hope for an early goal. I think we have so good attacking lines, so many players who can score. Watford showed it, 5 goals, 5 different goal scorers. So we should be able to score against them. My prediction, it's 3-1. I think we are unable to keep clean sheets. We always concede a goal. But yeah, I'm convinced we will score 3 goals, and this will be enough to win, and 3 goals will secure us 3 points, which are really needed. As I said, we are not allowed to drop any points against weaker teams.
Absolutely no. I mean, a 3-1, a 4-1 we've had, 3-0 we've had, all them sort of. We've had a 5-1 from Terrier, of course, as always. And yeah, I think we're all very, very happy, aren't we, about getting 3 points. I think we're all confident, that we're going to get 3 points. And yeah, I'm pretty sure we will. Greg says, I'll watch the game on the beach tomorrow. Yeah, we should have a big barbecue. Watch the FA player from Australia, and it'd be nice. Terry says,
"Oh God, stop it, Terry! You go too far."
Yeah, no. Hopefully the weather will be okay. That's the main thing. But yeah, I mean, a 3-1. I think, a clean sheet has been a problem, hasn't it? It has been a big problem this season. But Everton aren't noted for scoring a lot of goals, especially away from home. I know they got a good result last week in the FA Cup, but I kind of think we will concede a goal, actually. I do think we probably will concede a goal. But yeah, we've got far too much firepower for them. And as we saw last week, the players coming off the bench, Frida Marnham, she's always got a goal in her. Obviously, we spoke about Stina. We know she's got a goal in her. Beth, Leslie, they've all got goals in them. Viv's due a goal, isn't she? Let's be honest. And she did score the winner last season, of course, didn't she? That great goal that won us that game 1-0. So, I think we're going to score a few, and we may well concede one. I'm going to go 4-1. I know we've had a 4-1 already, and Amar's kind of gone 4-1, but I'm going to go 4-1. I think that's definitely what we'll do. Terry says, it all come down to mine. I live next to the beach. Yeah, well, I live next to the beach as well, but our beach is normally cold up here.
Oh, dear.
But yeah, I'm sure that it's not going to be beach weather tomorrow, is it? But yeah, maybe in the summer we'll all go down to Terry's, have a barbecue next to the beach at Terry's at the end of the season when we won the treble. That'd be nice. Amar's gone 3-0 or 4-1. I'll go 4-1, and Andreas has gone 3-1. So we're all expecting a fairly good victory, aren't we? Let's hope we get it, because we have to win. As Andreas said, we can't afford to drop any more silly points, because we've lost to Liverpool and we've lost to Tottenham, which are not teams that we'd have expected to drop points against. So we can't afford any more, as he says. Absolutely not. We have to win this game. I'm sure we will. I think last week's given us a little bit more confidence. We've had a decent game. We've got a lot of different goal scorers. We saw the impact of the substitutes and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, we should win this game. And it's going to be exciting. I'm sure it will. And it is going to be something to really look forward to. Now, there was, of course, a little bit of news, which we did briefly mention earlier, which was, unfortunately, before Andreas was able to send us a video on it. So he's not been able to give us his thoughts on the new contract today for Manu Zinsberger, of course, which I was shocked about when I saw it, actually, because we spoke last week, didn't we, about the prospect of her maybe going back to Germany because of her personal circumstances. And then suddenly today she signed a new contract. It's like, where did that come from? But she is. It's for another year. What did you make of that, Amar? Because I was shocked, actually. Not in a bad way. I'm not saying that, I don't want her to stay, but I was shocked that she signed a contract now.
Yeah, no, and everyone thought as well, not to change the subject, but everyone thought, let's get Mary Earps. But I know with Manchester United already having sold Russo to us, but they already were sold up. So I think the rumours may be extended beyond that. But no, I must say it did come as a bit of a surprise. It wasn't one that I was expecting when you consider how many other players maybe not done that many other players are out of contract. That's for another time. But yeah, no, the fact that I don't know what maybe convinced her to say. I think maybe she was just happy in her life, and maybe she wanted to just stay in London. I think she announced recently that her wife, they're giving birth to a daughter, and somebody was seen giving baby grow to them at the game on Saturday. I don't know whether that influenced the decision, but no, it did come as a bit of a surprise. And I suppose she has been reliable for us down the years, but we still say, we said on the show in the past, can she still continue to turn into a world-class goalkeeper like you see with the likes of I don't know, who else? Who am I thinking? World-class goalkeepers like Mary Earps, for example, or Sandra Panos, or people down the year, or for example down the years like we've had with Nadine Angara or whoever. When you go back, when you've seen world-class keepers, can she continue to be reliable in her handling, which still at times is a bit questionable? No, she has made key saves for us in the past, and and got plenty of clean sheets. But can she continue to stay that way. It's a difficult one. I know a lot of people would have loved to see Marios, but that pushes those rumors puts that to bed now. For now, at least, it may not be everyone's cup of tea that she signed up, but I'm happy for her that she has, and maybe it'll turn out to be the right decision, and maybe as well that the defenders will continue. She'll continue to trust the defenders more, and who knows? Well, not trying to play out the back, but no, I must admit, it did come as a surprise. It didn't reveal the exact length of a contract, but for now, at least, I mean, I suppose it's good for her. But whether long term it's good for Arsenal, and whether people say it can help us win us trophies and build on from last year's Conti Cup success remains to be seen. But yeah, no, I must admit, it did come as a bit of a surprise.
It did, yeah. I mean, I was completely shocked by it, but maybe. Yes, I think one of the reasons is maybe she is settled now in London and she's no intention of moving. Maybe her personal circumstances in her own personal life mean staying in London's better for her now. And also as well, I think a part of it could have been as well from the club perspective to maybe put an end to all this Mary Earp speculation. Maybe that was a good way to do it is to announce a new contract for your current number one goalkeeper, as if to say, well, we're not interested in buying anyone else at the moment. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's only an extra year's contract because she did say they gave an interview. She did a little fun interview, and she was saying something about an extra year. So it's only probably another year. But I think it's maybe stability. It's good to get your players tied into contracts, isn't it? Because it means in that way at least you can sell them for some money if they're still in a contract, as opposed to have to give them away for free, as Man United found out with Alessia Russo. So that could be a good thing from a club perspective. I don't think it necessarily. I'm not looking too much into it long term. I don't think it means we definitely won't be signing Mary Earps in the summer, or we definitely won't be signing another goalkeeper, whoever that might be. I still think there's a possibility that we will. I just think from a personal perspective, it's good for her to have that security. From a club perspective, it means she's got a contract, so we could sell her for more money or some money in the summer if that was how we went. And I think maybe it's just a reward for as Jonas said, for the great work that she's done in her time at Arsenal, because I think she's been a good goalkeeper for us. I think we'd all like a better one. I think we'd agree on that. We'd like an upgrade on Manu Zinsberger. I'm sure we all would, but I've got no issue with her necessarily. She's made a few mistakes, of course, all goalkeepers do, but I think it's good for her. I'm happy for her, and let's hope that she can go on for a good rest of the season for us, because we're going to need her, obviously. LG has given us some good stats here, which I like. Everton's record against the Big Four since the start of 2019-2020 season: played 32, won none, drawn 2, lost 30. Wow. Scored 14 and conceded 94. Well, there you go. We'll get 6 goals to make it 100. There we go on tomorrow. That'll make it 100 then. Anton says, if Everton gets through the press, there's a high chance they score based on season. Yeah. I mean, I always say the same thing in any game, no matter how dominant one team is. The other team will always get opportunities, whether it's a set piece or whether it's a counter-attack or whether it's a mistake somewhere. And Everton will have 1 or 2 opportunities in this game, maybe more. And yes, statistically, you're right. We're likely to concede a goal because that's just the way it's been this season. So, yeah, I don't think anyone will be surprised if Everton score. But it would be a big surprise if we don't win the game. Terry says, if you pick the half-time score, what about the second half? Well, the second half will be the same. It'll be 4-1 at half. Before at full time, that's it. It's going to finish for 1-0. Anton says, "Oh, what's happened here? Hang on, I'll just put that on the screen." Sorry, right. Where were we? Hang on, sorry. Right. Anton says, "Do you think Manu is seen as number 1 or number 2 in the long run?" Well, in the long run, I don't think number 1. No, not in the long run. I think obviously now, yes, for this season, absolutely. Next season, I still believe in the summer we'll sign another goalkeeper, because I think Sabrina isn't quite ready. She's going to be away soon anyway, but I don't think she's quite ready to step up to number 1. And I think we are going to buy another goalkeeper in the summer. Whether it's Mary Earp, whether it's somebody else, I think we will. And I think maybe Manu Zinsberger might well have the last year of her stay at Arsenal as the number 2. That's my personal feeling, but we'll have to see. I mean, she signed a new contract at the moment. She's number 1. And it's someone else's job to take that number 1 shot off her, whether it's Sabrina, whether it's a new signing. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think in the long run, number 2 for now. Number 1, obviously, because it's pretty much all we've got, really. Terry says the men's team has shocked us by bringing out an £80 Dubai shirt
So why not give the Zins a new contract? Well, that's probably right. Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing much shocks me anymore, if I'm honest. Atlas says, especially after the links with Ertz and even some with Panel. Yeah, and I think that's maybe why they released it now, because to stop all that speculation for the time. Because it's unsettling, isn't it? It's unsettling for her, it's unsettling for everybody. So maybe that they've done this at a good time. And I say when a player's tied into a contract, it means they're worth some money. And if she decides to move on later on. Ryan said there, do you reckon that the women's team are going to do what Mikel has done with the men and want 2 top goalkeepers?
No.
Marriott, someone a free, and Manu is accepted number 2 next season. Well, I mean, first of all, I would argue that Mikel Arteta has got 2 top goalkeepers. I think he's got 2 very average goalkeepers, actually. And that's the way it is. He's got one slightly more average than the other one. And I don't think you can have 2 top goalkeepers anyway. I don't think you have to have a number 1 and a number 2. It's the only way it works. Your number 2 goalkeepers there when they're needed. Maybe the odd cup game, if there's an injury, stuff like that. They have to be good. They have to be able to come in and do a job, but they're only ever a number 2. And I think that's the way. And if we buy Mary Ertz or we bring Mary Ertz on a free in the summer, Mary Ertz will come in as number 1. There's no doubt. And that would either mean Manu would drop down to number 2, or she would go and we would either keep Sabrina as number 2 or buy a number 2. That's what happens. That's football, isn't it? That's the life of a goalkeeper. It's not like other positions where you can maybe get a game in a different position. If you're a goalkeeper, there's only one place you can play, and only one player can play in that position each game. So, you've got a number 1 and a number 2, and that's probably what's going to happen. But we'll see. Terry says, to be fair, at this point, the Zins is the best keeper at the club. Well, yeah, absolutely. At the moment, she is. 100% she's the best goalkeeper at the club, yes. But maybe next season she might not be. But who knows? Greg says, Ertz is free to talk to other teams now. I think she's waiting to see if United change managers. Yeah, maybe, and maybe to see what other options there are for her. I don't know whether we've approached Mary Ertz. You're right, she can talk to other clubs now because she's in the last 6 months of her contract. But have we made approach? Have we spoken to her? Who knows? The fact, it just seems, doesn't it? We're in a transfer window. Manu signs a new contract. Is that to stop that speculation? Is it to make Manu feel a bit more comfortable because of this Mary Ertz situation? Or does it mean we're going to sign Mary Ertz and now we can get more money for Manu in the summer? Who knows? We shall see. Terry says, there's no chance Jonas is copying Arteta with 2 keepers. Jonas still wants a job next season. Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, let's see.
I mean, the whole goalkeeper situation with the men's team has become more than it needed to. Goalkeepers lose their number 1 position all the time, don't they? It happens. Leno lost his place to Ramsdale. It happens, and no one cried about that, did they? And suddenly Ramsdale loses his place to Raya, and everyone's up in arms about it. I personally think Raya's slightly better than Ramsdale. Neither of them are good enough for me. If we want to be a top 2, better goalkeeper.
Yeah,
something to be. We should have kept Leno because they're both better than a pair of them. But anyway, this isn't about that.
We'll talk about exactly. Yeah, let's not worry about that.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think Jonas is going down that route. He's got at the moment he's got a number 1 that's just signed a contract. We may well buy someone later. We'll see. LG says, I don't want to sugarcoat it. I'm genuinely pissed about the Zinsberger news. Yeah. I'm she's like a mannequin in goal. Well, I mean, I think that's a little bit harsh, if I'm honest. I understand the point. Sometimes she doesn't always cover herself in glory. She's for me, she's a type of goalkeeper that 1 minute she'll make a blinding save that you don't expect her to make, or 2 or 3 saves, and then the minute after she'll drop a cross, or she won't come and get a cross, or like you said, she'll stand on her line and the ball goes in. It's like, isn't it? But I think overall, when you look at it overall, I do think she's a very solid, reliable goalkeeper. She is still. I personally would like someone better long term. Of course, I think we all would. We know she's not going to get any better now. She's getting past her best, and maybe this is her last contract with us. And that's the way it is. But I'm sure in the summer I wouldn't be at all surprised if someone else comes in. And let's see if it is Mary Ertz. Wouldn't that be good? But yeah, I mean, I think we're all a little bit surprised by the news, but it is what it is. She's here. I'm not gonna. I don't mind that really. I was just shocked at the timing of it. But there you go. She's got a new contract, and we're gonna be with us at least the rest of this season, if not next season as well. So let's see. Let's see what happens. But yeah, it's good that our players are tied into contracts anyway. That's how I like to look at it. It means they're an asset to the club then, aren't they, financially?
Yeah, for sure.
And I think, Mary Ertz is going to leave for free. At least if our goalkeeper leaves, we're going to get some money for us. So, there we go. Anton says, Manuel on crosses or free kicks is good. We know. I think she's actually slightly been better this season on that, actually. I don't know if she's been working on it. She seems slightly less, I feel slightly less worried when crosses come in our box now than I was previously with Manu in goal. But yeah, it's still a weakness that needs to improve even more. But is she going to get any better now? I don't know. We'll have to see. Terry says, until players actually sign a contract and Arsenal show them off, take it. You're absolutely, exactly. Yeah, I don't listen to transfer rumours until a player's actually the video has been released, if you like, and there's pictures of them in the shirt. Yeah, I don't believe any of it. I don't even listen to half of it. I just think, well, exactly when we've signed someone, it'll get announced and we see it, and that's it. And everything else is just noise that doesn't really matter. But luckily, with the women's game, you don't tend to get as much transfer dramas going on in the news, because it's not as much focus on it, and that's a good thing, isn't it? Because you're not constantly hearing news. Yes, the Mary Earps thing's been a big issue lately, but the Russo thing last year was a big issue as well. But generally, you don't get as much of it there. You're not getting made up stories every day about the Arsenal women signing players as you are with the men's team. So I kind of prefer that. May that continue, because it's rubbish. So that has been lots to talk about there, wasn't there? It's been quite a busy week there. With football back on as well, transfer window still going on, lots of stuff happening, debut for players, FA Cup draws, loads of great stuff, and of course there was a game tomorrow to get. Well, hopefully there's a game tomorrow to get excited. It should be on. So Arsenal against Everton tomorrow at Meadow Park. It is a 2:00 kickoff, which is a strange time on a Saturday to be kicking off. But anyway, there you go. That's what it is. And we will be here at 1:45 to bring you all the game. Don't worry, we'll find a way to cover it. Don't you worry. We've got VPNs lined up. We've got loads of them all lined up, ready to switch on, and we'll find the game somewhere. So you will be able to follow it with us here. So don't worry about it. It's going to be good. So let's see what happens with that. So you join us at 1:45 tomorrow for that game, because it is going to be very, very good. We've also got a show tomorrow evening at 7:00. We will be looking back on the Arsenal men's game against Crystal Palace, which kicks off at 12:30, which is a bit awkward because that game's on, then the women's game's on, and they're both on together for a while. It's just rubbish.
It's ridiculous, And I was going to mention as well briefly. So I was going to mention briefly as well the FA Cup tie against Man City is 12:30. Later at 2:00 that day is West Ham for the men. I'm like, why can't you just move them? That's a potentially another scheduling clash. So I hope they sort that out this time.
Are the men playing at the West Ham game on a Sunday? Is it
Sunday the 11th of February at 2:00, and the FA Cup ties at 12:30? It's ridiculous.
Oh, they haven't done it again, have they?
I think they have, Richard.
Oh yeah, they have. Yeah.
I hope they can switch that because
they have. Yeah.
It's annoying. So annoying.
I mean, hopefully next season, when this TV deal's finished, and this new company's taking over, hopefully we'll start to see a little bit more sense when it comes to these.
Exactly.
To be fair, though, the last year or so, we haven't really had a clash.
No,
it hasn't been a clash for ages. So we've got one tomorrow. We're going to have another one on the 11th of February, unfortunately. But there you go. We'll get by the best we can and enjoy what we can enjoy, and hopefully it'll all be good. And as long as Arsenal keep winning, it doesn't really matter too much.
No, exactly.
So we'll see. Greg says there, the players we've got are good enough to win everything. Absolutely good enough to win everything. I agree with you. But it's not always about that. They've got to go on a pitch and produce the regular, consistent performances. Yes. And that's something that we've not quite managed to do this season. We've dropped too many silly points in games we shouldn't have done. So we shall see. LG says Zinsberger is comfortable at Arsenal and Arsenal is comfortable with her. That's a good point, and I agree with you. But at this moment in time, but things change quickly in football. I'm sure Aaron Ramsdale felt pretty comfortable at Arsenal until David Raya came through the door. So, these things can happen quickly, can't they? So let's see what happens. But for now, she's our number one, and she's, as Terry said, she's the best goalie we've currently got. So let's get behind her for the rest of the season and enjoy what's going to be, I'm sure, a really exciting rest of the season for us all. So we shall see. So tomorrow, then, as I say, just before we go, Andreas has got a few little words to say before we leave.
I hope the match takes place and it will be a good match. Of course, as every time when I'm there, There will be a match day vlog with the atmosphere, the warm-up before the match, and then hopefully at halftime I can join Richard on his match day show. Let's see. Let's have a good match. Let's get the 3 points. And as always, as Richard says, come on, you Gunners. See you at Meadow Park.
Fantastic. Brilliant. If you do bump into Andreas tomorrow at the game, do say hello to him because he'd love to meet some of you guys. So yeah, definitely say hello. He will be in the east stand behind. He sits behind the dugouts is where his seat is, but I'm sure you'll see him around. He'll be in a pub at Boreham Wood before the game as well. So if you see him, say hello. If you see Amar as well, because Amar will be knocking around tomorrow if the game's on. So if you see Amar, say hello to Amar as well, because he's very friendly as well. So it'd be good to meet everybody that's out there. Terry says you're not doing a part 1 tomorrow as well. I'll take it, Richard, as well. Well, funnily enough, I mean, this is just an interesting little side story. We were intending to do a part 1 tomorrow, me and Paula. Paula's doing one. I've actually got the opportunity to do a 10K race tomorrow. Someone I know, they've got someone who's dropped out. So there's a free number going. It's a 10K race in Newcastle City Centre. And I might do that in the morning instead. So I'll see how I feel. If I don't do the 10K race, I will be doing a part 1 with Paula. But I'll be doing something in the morning, one or the other. I haven't trained for a 10K really. I've been running, but I haven't really been training for a 10K. So I've got to decide whether I want to put my body through a 10K on a Saturday morning in January in the freezing cold or not. I'll have to decide. But there'll be one of those two things is happening tomorrow. So yeah, so I've got 2 games. I've got a show looking at the Crystal Palace game, and obviously the Arsenal women's watch along. So yeah, I'm going to be quite tired by tomorrow night. I'm sure I might sleep well tomorrow. Terry says, Andreas, don't forget Jonas. He won't have his green coat on tomorrow. I bet you he won't have it on. But Andreas has got more chance of getting his coat because he sits right behind him. So he can just grab his coat when he puts it down. So it'll be easy tomorrow. So I'm sure he'll be able to get his coat. So we'll look at what we'll do is I think what should happen is I think Andreas should get Jonas's coat and then we should run a competition on the channel to give away Jonas's match worn coat. And we'll find a way of maybe running a competition. We did Euros and we had a competition for guessing the number of goals. We'll maybe run a competition to win Jonas's coat because that would be good. Terry missed it last time, so he doesn't want to miss out again on the coat. Is what he wants to say. But we'll see if Andreas can get it. That'd be good. So yes, that is what's happening. So yeah, join us tomorrow 1:45 for the Arsenal women's game, and of course tomorrow night as well at 7 o'clock for a look back on the Arsenal versus Crystal Palace men's game. So it's all happening tomorrow. It's all happening. It's going to be mad, and I'll be doing running and all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be crazy. And of course, Andreas and Amar will be at the game. So it's all happening. And make sure you say hello to them too. So that will be good. Terry says, make sure I'm the only one to enter. Well, no, we can't cheat, Terry. We can't cheat, can we? We've got to have a fair competition. Andreas has got to get the coat first. What he's doing, he'll come on at half time, like he said. So I'll have a word with him. See if he can grab it at half time. So we'll see. LG says, I'll be fortunate to watch the game tomorrow on the FA players. I don't live in the UK. Well, there you go. You see, what country you're in, and then we'll set our VPNs for your country, and we can watch it with you. That'd be good. But yeah, I'm sure I can I'll find a way to watch it. So don't worry about that. We'll be here with all the coverage. And if we can't watch it, LG can keep us updated what's going on because he can watch it. So you won't miss any video anyway. So I'll be here at 1:45. So join me for that. Thank you very much to obviously Andreas for his video contributions. Hopefully he's had a safe flight to London and the hotel look after him. I'm sure they will. They always do. I say if you see him tomorrow, say hello, give him a wave. Thanks, of course, as always, to Amar as well. Enjoy the game tomorrow. If you see Amar at the ground, say hello to Amar as well. I'm sure that'll be good fun. And if you can, if you meet up with Andreas as well, that'll be good, won't it? I'm sure you will at some stage. LG says Chelsea v Man United. Indeed, and actually, as a bonus, Andreas is going to the Chelsea Man United game because he's got a ticket for that. So he'll be at that game on Sunday as well. So he's got a busy weekend as well, hasn't he, Andreas? So he's making the most of his time in London, isn't he? You can't blame him, really.
No, of course not.
He's making the most of it when you can. So he'll be at that game as well. Whether or not he'll be able to do us any videos. Do we want any videos of Chelsea Man United? I don't know. If Chelsea lose, we might laugh at them, then that might be quite good. Ryan says, good show, guys. I thank you very much, my friend. Don't forget to check out the Arsenal podcast. I just want to mention actually that there's not many Arsenal channels out there that do much coverage of the Arsenal women. Ryan's channel, the Arsenal podcast, they have a show on a Thursday, so check that out. That's always a good show, looking at the women's team, and also as well he does the watch-alongs of the games as well. So there are some channels out there that cover the women, and it's always good that there needs to be more. But yeah, there's not too many. But Ryan's been doing them more as well. It's a great show again to you and Emma.
Try to.
Don't get Andreas into any trouble. No, Andreas will.
I'm not going to get into trouble. What were you talking about?
Yeah, we need to be careful, but no, it'd be good. So definitely say hello. LG says that we're all Man U fans on Sunday.
Yeah,
we will
won.
As long as we win on Saturday, we'll be Man United fans on Sunday for sure. Yeah, but we need to win first. Otherwise, we don't want Man United to win, do we? Because if we lose and Man United win, that won't be. But then if Chelsea win, it'll be even worse. So let's not think about that. We're not going to lose, are we? We're going to win because Andreas is going, and we always win when Andreas goes. So they put on a performance for him because they know he's travelled a long way. So that would be good. So yeah, so join. If you see the guys tomorrow, say hello. And if not, if you're not at the game and you can't watch it anywhere because you haven't got a VPN, then join me at 1:45 and we'll go through it all. You won't miss anything here. It's going to be good, and hopefully Arsenal win. And I say tomorrow night we'll be looking at the men's game as well against Crystal Palace. So it's a busy day, too busy for my liking. But there you go. What else you got to do on a Saturday? Eh? What else is there to do? Terry says, I can't like Man United. You don't hate their keeper, Terry. It's all good. Absolutely not. Greg says, a great show. Looking forward to tuning in tomorrow. Yeah, no problem, mate. Look forward to seeing you as well. Everyone else that will join us tomorrow. So, yeah, thanks to Andreas for his videos. Thanks to Marcos for being here. And he was on time as well, which is great. We like to see that. And, of course, to you guys in the chat, all your comments, all your questions, everything else. Brilliant stuff. Please give us a like before you go. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new. Join me tomorrow at 1:45 because that is going to be a great game. The first WSL game of 2024. Fantastic stuff. So join us for that. Thanks for watching. And of course, as always, as Andreas took it off me today, come on, you gunners. Let's do it.
Yeah, take it.
We will see you tomorrow.
See you guys. Have a good weekend. Take care.
Cheers. Bye.